My name is Carrie, and this is the Creative Obsession Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me on my little channel here, where I talk about quilting, knitting, crocheting, craftiness, just creativity, whatever we decide to get into. Today is January 26th. Yes, it's the 26th, Thursday. This probably won't get uploaded until tomorrow on Friday the 27th, just because I'm recording later today. I normally record in the morning, but for some reason my morning was just not cooperating with me, and so it's afternoon now. It's a gray day. Our snow is gone for the most part. We still have a pile of snow out front from where we shoveled the driveway, but it's just now just gray, threatening to sprinkle, and it's cold, but typical winter weather for us here in Oregon. I live near Portland, Oregon. For those of you that are new, welcome to all of you, and welcome to everybody that's returning. Thank you so much for coming back and joining me. You can find me on Ravelry and on Instagram, and I have an Etsy shop, and I will put all that information here on the screen. And anything that I talk about, any kind of links or patterns or shops or anything like that, I will put the links to those in the description box down below on this YouTube channel. So you should be able to find everything that I'm talking about down there. If there's anything that you want to know about and I forgot to put down there, just message me. Excuse me. I'm feeling almost like I'm getting a cold, like almost. So I'm feeling it a little more in my throat today. So I'm pretending that that's not happening because I don't want that to happen. Although now would be a good time, if I'm going to get sick, now would be a good time, because in a couple of weeks I'm going to Disneyland, and I don't want to be sick when I go to Disneyland. So that brings me into that. I probably will be a little bit longer till my next episode, just because when I would normally record every 2 weeks is the week that I'm leaving for Disney. So it's my friend's birthday, and there's 6 of us friends all going down, and going to be down there for a few days doing Disney, and I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. I grew up down in Southern California and used to go to Disneyland every year, so I have very, very fond memories of going as a kid back in the days when you actually had to buy the e-ticket to get on the big rides and stuff like that. My dad was a fireman for the Los Angeles area, and once a year in the fall, Disneyland would have Fireman's Night, and it was open to just firemen's families for free. And I think you could get in for free. I still think we had to buy tickets, which was a pretty big deal for my parents because there's 4 kids, and so a family of 6 is expensive to do stuff like that. But we would go every year, and I love it. It's been a few years since I've been. Last time I went with my sister on her birthday, and that was the first time I had gone as just an adult with no kids or anything, which was a lot more fun, I have to say. So I'm really looking forward to this trip. So after this episode, the next episode will be a little bit longer, but don't worry, I won't forget you. So I last episode mentioned a coupon code that's going to end at the end of this month, and I want to make sure that you guys have gone over there and you've had a chance to look at what Lee has in her shop for woolly bags. Like I said, I'll put the link down below. She's giving a coupon code for the viewers of the podcast of Creative20, and that gives you 20% off of stuff in her shop through the end of January of 2017. She also donated this needle holder, needle cozy, DPN cozy, whatever you want to call it, that for a giveaway. And I'm going to do a giveaway, probably announce it on the next time I record, because then that will be right around my 1 year podiversary. and I want to do a giveaway for that. So she donated this, but generously gave a coupon code for anybody that wants to go visit her shop and take a little bit off. This last weekend, I finally got together with Michelle and Leslie and Lori. Those are my friends. Michelle and Leslie have the Naughty Knitwits podcast. And we get together once a month and sit and knit and all that stuff. But with the weather we've been having, we hadn't seen each other since November. I've been able to see Lori, but I haven't seen Michelle and Leslie. So we got together finally and exchanged our Christmas gifts, which was kind of weird to do a month late. But it was fun. It was so good to see them. I miss getting together with them, and it's just fun to sit and knit and chat and all that stuff. So I'll share with you in a little bit. I did get some new yarn because I was gifted yarn, which is really sweet. Michelle even said, I didn't know if it was okay to give a yarn dyer yarn. And I said, absolutely, because the yarn I get generally is the stuff that doesn't really work out for my shop. And so it's kind of the reject pile. And it's hard for me to justify buying yarn when I can dye yarn. So it's a treat to get yarn as a gift. So I will share that with you in a little bit. I got a skein of yarn from all three of them, which was really sweet. I will, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and give the name for the giveaway because I don't want to make you wait till the end of the show or anything like that. Last episode, I did a giveaway just because it was time to do one. I hadn't done one in a while. And I had asked and put a thread in the Ravelry group and asked what your favorite movie was, what your favorite go-to feel-good kind of movie was. And it was so fun for me to read the responses because they're almost all of them are movies I love. A couple of them I hadn't heard of, but it was like, oh yeah, I like that movie. So if you want to go to that thread, go to our Rav group and look for that thread and kind of read what people's responses were. So I closed the thread this morning and picked a winner with a random number generator. We had 69 entries, so we had up to 70, but number one was me. So I did random number generator from 2 to 70, and it picked number 25. And number 25 is Grace Knit, and she's out of California. So Grace, yay Grace, you get a chance to try my yarn because you won one of the original versions of Cherry Blossom. So get a message to me either through Ravelry or Instagram and give me your address, and I will send this out to you as soon as I can. And maybe you'll get it in time to knit some Valentine's socks. I'll have to show you. That is one of my hoe whips. Whip-hoe? Hoe whip. It's a hoe and a whip is my socks that I'm making with this. So congratulations, Grace. Thank you, everybody that participated. It really was a lot of fun to read all those responses. It gave me I need to go watch that again. I haven't seen that in a long time. So yeah, that was really fun. In this episode, I'm at the very end. I am in the process of designing a new quilt, and it's going to be very different. But I thought I thought it would be kind of fun if you're interested to kind of go through the process with me from my initial idea to how I get it down on paper and how it goes from there. I'm making it up as I go along, so I figured I'll just take you along on that journey with me. So I will film that part at the very end of all of this because I need my design wall to show you what I'm doing, and I'll take this quilt off. So when I edit this, I'll get a time. I'll put the timestamp here. If you want to even just jump to that, that's cool. But that's going to happen. I'm really excited, and I hope you enjoy following along with that. And I hope that you like it as much as I do, because I came up with this idea about a year and a half ago, and it's just been stewing in my brain until I finally figured out how I was going to go about doing it. So anyway, that's at the end. But for now, the quilt that's on the wall happens to be a quilt that belongs to the Mama Made It Quilt Shop in Longview, Washington. She gave it to me to quilt, and I just finished quilting it today. That was part of my morning stuff. I don't think it has a name yet, but she is going to be offering this quilt pattern and kit in her shop, both online and in the store if you're interested. So you can go to mamamadeit.quiltshop.com and give it a little bit of time because she needs to get this back for me, put a binding on it, and then photograph it and get the pattern. So it'll be a little while, but she's pretty quick about getting stuff like that done. So very nice traditional quilt. I love the colors in it. So yeah, that's what that is the unnamed quilt as of yet. She hasn't told me what the name is, so I can't share that with you. But if you're interested in it, go visit her shop. She's got some really nice stuff there, and support the local quilt shop. I'm going to go into the things that my acquisitions, I guess. I don't buy a lot of yarn since I started dyeing it because it's just kind of hard to justify that. So it is a treat when you get yarn. And so, excuse me, I get a cough, so hang on a second. Sorry about that. I'm getting that tickle. So like I had said earlier, I got together with Leslie and Michelle and Lori. And Lori and I got together prior to Christmas. So we were able to exchange each other's gifts. But I didn't want to show on the podcast what I got until we all got together and did the exchange. But among other things Lori gave me, she was super generous. But the yarn that she got me, which I love, is it is a mustache yarn, perfect sock, self-striping in the colorway Kama Sutra. And it is just fun, springy colors. So I'm thinking this is going to be my next sock project because I'm joining, I'm trying to do the year-long sock cal that the Naughty Knitwits are doing. And so every month you knit a pair of socks. So I'm going to finish for January my cherry blossom socks, which are in this colorway. So that'll be like my February socks. They'll be ready for me in February. And I thought this would make a really nice pair of spring socks for March. So I'll make them in February. So super generous. I mean, like, this is super generous. For one, this yarn's not easy to get. And it's exactly perfect. So thank you, Lori, again. I know I've thanked you. And she got me some other stuff. She got me some really nice hand soap. And, oh gosh, I don't even remember all of it. And then Leslie, which is so cool, is I get to try black sheep yarn. Isn't that colorway pretty? That is called Antique Christmas. So it is a blend of like gray and dark mauvey pink, light pink, and a little splash of green in there. I don't think these are just Christmas socks. I would wear these all year long. But I think I'm going to hold these until it gets kind of more fall and maybe towards Christmas month. Just because, I don't know, I may not. I may just go in, dig into it and make it. But Black Sheep Yarn is, she's local. And I've been wanting to try her yarn. So this was pretty special to get this because I think it's retired now for the season. So that was pretty cool. And I know Leslie had a hard time letting go of it. And then Michelle gave me some Mrs. Crosby's in Carnival After Dark. Is that not perfect? Okay, so what I'm thinking, I talked a couple of episodes about my, episodes ago, about my Copilot cowl that was a fail for me. I tried casting it on like 2 or 3 times and kept getting a twist in it. Several suggestions saying knit it flat, then join it, and then that helps you be able to tell whether it's twisted or not. So I'm going to restart it, but I think I'm going to make it out of this because it's 425 yards, but it's 55% superwash merino, 15 nylon, and 30 Outlast viscose. It's really soft, and I think this would make a really nice cowl. So I think I'm going to, when I go to cast that back on again, I think I'm going to change it and do it out of this because I would wear this all the time. So she also gave me, I also got the Susan B. Anderson greeting cards that she made. If you guys haven't seen these, they're pretty cool. Susan B. Anderson had somebody design these, and it's like a picture of her standing there knitting. Half of her things are unknitted, ends that need to be woven in, her socks, her foot is in a sock that's still being knitted, and it's just super cute. I'm going to have a hard time sending these out. I'm going to probably frame one. And a notepad and some tape and a shawl pin. And then Leslie also gave me, which I didn't see till I got home because it was in the bottom of the bag, but some, oh darn it, some really cute stitch markers, a little cupcake stitch marker, progress keeper type thing from Black Sheep Yarn. Let me move that over. Thank you so much, ladies. You guys were way too generous, but I appreciate it so very, very much. So some fun new yarns. Like I said, I don't buy myself very much yarn, but I did join a yarn of the month, which I've never done before because I have a hard time buying or paying for yarn or buying yarn that I haven't seen yet. Because what somebody thinks is like, oh, that's so pretty. And I might go, yeah, it's not me. And so that's the chance you take when you do a yarn of the month. You don't know what you're going to get. But Katrina over at Cat's Kettle Yarns was having a yarn of the month sign up for 3 months. And it's based on a fairy tale story she's making up and telling her daughter. And I just love the idea of it. So if you are part of Cat's Kettle Yarn of the Month Club and you haven't gotten your yarn, look away and I will tell you when it's time to look again. Okay, you ready? I'm so in love with this. Isn't that pretty? Okay, people, don't look yet. Don't look. Well, unless you don't care. One thing, the reason why I signed up for Cat's Kettle's Yarn of the Month is because I knew I could trust her. I love her yarns. I love her colorways. I love her style. I love the story behind this, and I knew I could trust it. And she did not disappoint. So I don't know what I'm going to make with this yet because I think I'm going to wait till I get the other ones, because if by chance they go together, that could make a difference in what I do with it. It's too pretty to just be socks. Okay, you can look now if you were closing your eyes. So, oh, and then Leslie knitted me this. Somebody knitted me something. Is that just too cute? She's just been on this little elf gnome, I don't know what you call this, little kick. I'll find out what the pattern is for this and I'll put it down below. Super cute. I think I need to knit some of these. And I was thinking it would be really fun to start knitting them now and then maybe give them as Christmas gifts. I just don't know if I'll actually get it done with all the other knitting and stuff that I'm doing, but super cute. And I like it with no eyes because I think it looks cute like that. I think if it was staring at me with eyes, it would be creepy. So super fun. It was just really, it just felt good. It just felt really good. So I'm going to show you now. So I'm kind of moving right into it and through stuff because I don't have a ton. I don't have any finished objects, just some things I've been working on, because I spent some time with the whole quilt thing. So let me move into, my hoe, my whips. Okay. All right. I'm going to go into my, whips, and I've got a hoe. So that's the cherry blossom. So Grace, this is the yarn you just won. So I put in a black heel and toe, and it is yarn that I got just at Michael's, and it's a Deborah Norville Serenity yarn. So it is wool and bamboo, or rayon made from bamboo. And so it's going to be durable because you've got that rayon, which acts like a nylon, but yet still soft. So I did the heel and toe for that. I think I may have found my perfect sock recipe. I knit with 64 stitches. I have a wide foot. I've talked about that before. And so this right here ends up being tight on me because I have a high arch also. So what I ended up doing in this, and this sock fits me, I feel like it fits me perfectly. I knit with 64 stitches. Half of those stitches become the heel flap, which is 32. You then usually make your flap that many rows. And I went ahead and made 2 more rows. So I did 34 rows. And then when I picked up my stitches for the gusset, instead of picking up 18, I picked up 20. I don't have any holes. There's no holes on either side. just that extra couple of rows and picking up those extra stitches right in here, which then you decrease but it gives you a little bit longer before you decrease because you have those couple extra stitches on there. And then I went into, the regular part of my foot. I also changed the color about 1/2 inch before I start the decreases to give me a little bit more color on the toe. And I love it. I absolutely love the way this turned out. I love the way it fits. I actually really like this yarn. So here's my next one. So I'm getting close. I have a couple more inches before I start doing the whole color change of the toe. I'm using my high sharps, which are my preferred sock needle because they're nice and sharp and the cord's good. I use a 32-inch cord and perfect, just perfect. I love them. So these will be finished. The thing is I started, I think last episode I showed you I had started making a pattern and it was like a spiral, which was pretty much just stockinette stitch. And then you threw a purl in every once in a while, but it made them too big. And I didn't know what to do. I had gotten pretty far and I thought I could try and decrease around here, but then I'm thinking, I know I need more here. And I just took them out. I took it all the way out to the ribbing because the ribbing was just my normal ribbing. I just do a 1x1 twisted rib and reknit it. And because it's just vanilla, it went really fast. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get January socks done because of the whole messing it up. And then I put it away for a while because I was so frustrated. And then I thought, I'm never going to get this done in time. I think I'm going to get it done in time because I only have a few more days, but really I don't have very far to go. I just need to work on it because I want to work on my other stuff. See, that's the problem. And that's why I don't know how good I'm going to be at this whole knit along because, there's so many things to work on, like my find my fade. You guys want to see my fade? Let me put this aside. Okay, so I did get a little bit more done on my fade. Last time I saw you, I was there. So I had just kind of gotten into the second color. I'm already into the third color. So there it is. And you can see the second color and the third color are pretty similar, but the third color's got mint and blue in it. But yeah, so I guess you can see a different, when I'm working on it, I feel like it didn't make much of a change because you can't see any kind of stripes, where here you see more of the stripes. But I think when it's going along, it's going to look like a fade. So then my next color is this. So that'll just be kind of a variegation of blues and greens, but it'll tie in with the green that's in that color. So this isn't my go-to project. This isn't really what I really want to work on. I'm not having that love affair like you do some things where you just like, I have to work on it. I'm not finding that to be true. It is a good knit for me to do because I can't knit on my socks for like all night. That tight knitting or small knitting, it makes my hands hurt and stuff. So knitting on something that's got a looser gauge and it's just bigger, it slides on your needles really easy and stuff. That is a nice kind of a break for my hands. So I'll pick it up at the end of the day to do that. I'm getting close, I think, to doing the lace section of this third color. So yeah, it's getting there. My dick is getting kind of big. Sorry. So anyway, I will move my progress keeper up here and we'll just kind of keep track on my dicky. Pretty soon it's not going to look like a dicky, it's just going to look like a bib. I hope I can figure out how to wear it, because that is some of the problems that I have with some of these shawls as you make them, and they're really pretty. And I don't know how to wear them. And a lot of people will wear that it kind of is a lot here. To me, that just looks like you're wearing a bib. So I do enjoy making them, but I'm kind of not so good at the whole wearing part. Sorry, I'm going to drink my tea. Somebody had asked in the Ravelry group about I have an Ask Me Anything thread, and she said, whatever happened with that black and yellow yarn that you dyed back when I was like my first skein of yarn that I tried to dye? Nothing. It's still in a skein. Thanks for asking though, because I was thinking about it. I really like this. I love the color yellow that it is, and I love the gray that it turned out, but I won't ever wear this. I won't wear yellow. I just don't. It doesn't look good on me. And so what I'm going to do, and I had been thinking about this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to dye over the yellow part. So it's a half and half skein. So I've got like these blacks. It's really turned out more gray, and this beautiful like daffodil yellow. So on the yellow part, I'm going to make up some different colors like blues and reds and, you know, those kind of colors that would look good going over yellow. I have to take into consideration what's going to blend well with yellow. Excuse me. And just dye over that. Maybe leave a little bit of the yellow showing, but have it be like blue and orange and yellow and red, and try not to make it look too childlike, I guess. So that's the plan. I don't have any plans on what I'm going to make with it. It probably will end up being a cowl of some sort. And I thought about giving it away, but I can't part with it. It was like my first one. You know how your firsts are, your first love. So thanks for asking, because it made me get it out and really, really like make a more definite plan on it. So, yeah, if you have any questions about anything, there's an Ask Me Anything thread there. Pop on there and ask away. I may or may not answer it. Probably will, because I don't have secrets. So another thing I'm working on, and I'm not going to show this every time, but remember the crocheted blanket that I showed you with the bobbles, popcorn stitches on it, and that makes words and all that stuff? It's called the Trust Blanket. So I've been working on those. So I'm really enjoying working on this. This is what I want to work on because I can work on small pieces. So this is the color palette. I think the last time I talked with you, I hadn't gotten some of the other colors. So it's going to be this denim blue, this silver color. This is called cornflower. So it's kind of a greenish teal kind of. This is called cream, and it ended up looking a little more on the peachy side than I thought. But I think once it all goes together, it's going to look good. And then there's white, which I haven't made anything out of the white yet. So I'm getting faster because I made 2 of these last night, and it took me maybe an hour and a half, where when I first started, that took me all night. So, you know, I'm making progress. It's coming together. I do enjoy working on it. You know, I've only done the one really big block that has a word on it. So I want to try and do another one of those. So I had gotten this one done that says Lord. So I think it was on my last episode, but I'll link to the pattern. So I'm not going to show that every time, but I keep ticking off how many blocks I made. So it's kind of like working on a quilt, sort of, because I'm making blocks and then I'm going to put those blocks together. I wanted to share with you a podcast that I just recently found. It is called The Yarn and You Girl, and it's Janine, and she's out of Vancouver, Washington, so she's kind of a neighbor. Close enough. I like her. She's really sweet. I just started watching. I've only watched a couple of episodes, so I've subscribed, and I'm kind of going backwards to see her previous episodes and catch up. So give her a check out, because I think you'd like it. She knits, and she has kind of an online yarn store, and she's a pharmacist, and she's got little kids and all that stuff. So I'm going to go now into my quilt design process. So if you are not interested in that, thanks for watching. I'm going to pause here, take the quilt down that's behind me, and kind of shift gears, and I'll be back with the new quilt design. All right, now we've changed gears. So this is the quilt I'm making, and let me give you the backstory of it. This is going to be a quilt for my little brother. He will turn 50 in 2018. And I, over the years, have made quilts for family members when they've had kind of an O birthday, 50, 60, 70, whatever it is. And so it worked out really well for Jim's family because all of his siblings are exactly 2 years apart, like within the same month. So it gave me 2 years each year each time to make up a quilt. And so it kind of spread things out. It gave a reason to give them a quilt. So my little brother's like the last one to get one. So, you know, over the years, I always keep watch. Would this be something someone would like? And this and that. He has this great love of his little Volkswagen Bug. He has a black convertible 1974, I think, Volkswagen Bug. And it's his pride and joy, and it fits him perfectly. And, you know, it's like that, his cool car. Didn't drive it a whole lot. You know, it's kind of one of those, like, I'll take it out when it's nice kind of thing. And their main car kind of was having issues. So he was driving the Bug and somebody T-boned him and crashed into him, and was very, very devastating. It really, really crushed him. And so he kept it. He still has it. I think someday he may fix it, but it was totaled. And so, you know, made him really depressed, and it was a sad day. It was like losing a pet or something. It was sad. So, one day he and his family were out garage sailing, and they went to an estate sale, and he's sitting there waiting for the girls to be done, and he sees this Bug in the garage, and he goes in and talks to him. And there's this 1990 something convertible Bug in like a cream pearlescent color, like pristine, brand new condition, hardly any miles on it. And so he bought it. So he bought a car at a garage sale, estate sale. Oh my gosh, it was like he had another kid. So that is his baby, and he does baby it. So when he got that, I was just so happy for him, and I thought, I wish I could make him a quilt with like a Bug on, like a Volkswagen Bug. And so all of a sudden one day, and I'll usually get my ideas either in the shower or when I'm on a walk. Sometimes it's other times, but those 2 times I get a lot of ideas. And I came up with this idea because he has kind of like a black and a white, even though it's a cream, sort of has these like a net positive and negative, and like a, you know, kind of going with that theme. And I thought, what if I made a quilt with a Bug and have it be like the reverse is the opposite colors? Like you do a black Bug with a cream background and a cream Bug with the black background, but make it look like it's a mirror image. And I was like, oh my gosh, since my brain is just going like, how could I do this? I didn't really want to applique it because I want it to be a quilt that he uses. And not that you can't use a quilt that's appliqued, but that's something that's stuck on the top. I wanted it to just be pieced in. So I just kind of sat there and has just been marinating in my brain. And I try and think of, you know, every once in a while, you're just like, maybe this, maybe that. And then one day I was talking with my friend Jenny, and we were talking about the Snapshots quilt. And I showed this before of this block that is like a little Bug. And she says, what if you just made a bunch of those in different colors? And I thought, I could do that. I could do kind of an Andy Warhol sort of look of all these different Bugs. I'm like, that wasn't what I wanted to do. I really liked the idea of doing a mirror image, positive and negative kind of a thing. So I thought, you know, what if I took that block as a starting point? Because I didn't know how to draw it out. I thought, what if I used that piecing, kind of like this idea, as my starting off point? And so what I did is I took freezer paper, which I've talked about in the past, and I stuck some pieces together, so I ended up with a really large piece of paper. I then put it on my cutting mat. I have a really large cutting mat in the other room it's up at an old dining room table we've put up on casters, so it's up at like countertop height for me. And so I can work on that. And so I taped it onto that so I could see the lines of the cutting mat underneath, and I just drew a 2-inch grid. The one thing I would do differently if I were to do it again is I would mark my grid with red marking pen instead of black, because when I was drawing with my pencil, it was hard to tell where my pencil lines were because everything was black. But if I did it with red, then you would see it. So anyway, it worked out. I did it okay. So I started off with that idea. So I took what I could from this, didn't really have exact measurements of what everything was. I put it in my EQ program, which is electric quilt of EQ7, and designed the block in there at the same size as what this was. And I thought this block makes a 12 by 16. And I thought if I triple it, it will be 36 by 48. And I thought, okay, that I can work with, because if I did 36 twice, I end up with a 72-inch quilt, which is a good size. Having it be about 72 inches, 6 feet long, is a good size length for like a lap quilt. So I put it into EQ. There's my little drawing. That was in EQ, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. Let me see what it looks like when it's colored, see if that even looks like what I want it to look like. Now, this was printed on a piece of paper that I like recycled, so it's got some printing on it, but that's the quilt I want to make for him. I've changed a little bit on the design once I got it put on the big piece of paper, because when it's this small, it looks okay, but when it blew up, those pieces were so big that some of them needed to be rounded off a little bit more. But he also names his quilt, or names his cars. So back when he was really little, he used to play with like his little Matchbox cars, and he had this little red Volkswagen, and he called it his Dum Dum Volkswagen. We don't know why, but that's Dum Dum Volkswagen. So in the space that's above the cars, I'm going to use patterns out of this book that give you paper pieced patterns for letters. And I'm going to put in the space above the black one, Dum Dum Volkswagen, and then on this one, this is Junebug. And so I'm going to put the letters Junebug. So whichever way he has it sitting, it'll be the right side up. And so it's a mirror image of each other, and I think it's really cool. I'm super excited about it. So, so these are the letters that you do. So they'll look a little, you know, more like a stencil sort of, I guess. So this is my drawing. I drew this pattern out on the graph paper and then tweaked it from there. Because like I said, it could have something that's on a small piece of paper, this little angle. Well, now that angle is like this long because you've tripled it and it didn't look right. So I just, with some erasing and drawing, and I'd stick it up on the wall and stand back. I'm like, no, I need to do this, take it down, and, you know, back and forth, back and forth. And then what I did when I was happy with the design, and then drew over it with a Sharpie so that I can see it. So this will be my template. So now from here, I need to break it down into how I can piece it, because I got to be able to sew this together. So what I'm going to do is take like highlighter pen and make sections. And then within those sections, I need to piece these pieces, and that should all go together. So this is just half of it. Then I have to flip it and make it in the opposite colors, but it needs to be flipped. So that when it goes upside down, the tires line up. Otherwise, the tires don't line up. So that's my Volkswagen quilt. So I'm going to look for fabric that's going to be mostly solid, but maybe have some texture to it just so that it doesn't look so flat. Then what I was thinking of is on the doors of them, because that's a pretty big space right here on the door. I'm gonna draw out the Volkswagen symbol, that's the VW, that's in a circle, and I'm going to quilt that on the door. So it's going to be just subtly there, and I'm not sure if I'll do it on both doors, you know, on both the black one and the Pro one, probably so that it looks like a mirror image. I'm so excited. It made me feel so good to finally get this far on it, because it's been, like I said, it's been something that's been in my head for quite a while. And so I'm shopping for some fabrics. I found Moda has a line called Grunge, and so it kind of has shades of color. It just looks kind of grungy, and I thought that could be kind of cool. I don't want to just do a solid flat color, because I don't want it to look flat. I want it to have a little bit of interest in it. So this piece here is 36 by 50. So that ends up being how big half of the quilt will be. So it'll be 50 inches wide. His favorite color is red, and I was hoping to put red in there somewhere. So that may happen, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to get the block, that one block. It's like a half a quilt. Get that done and see how that goes. And then I'll see if I can add red somewhere. Sorry, my battery went dead. I had to change it. I can't show progress of this or anything about it on Instagram because my brother follows me on Instagram. I really don't think he watches the podcast, so I feel safe showing it on here. It's going to take me some time because I still have to get the fabric. I still have to figure out how I'm going to cut it and piece it and do all that. But I thought I would show you and kind of take you along if you're interested. I'll throw it on the ends of podcasts when I do have something to show, just so that if you're not interested, you don't have to stay till that long. For the windows, I want to do sort of a light blue, maybe something that looks like clouds, just because I thought that'd be kind of fun. So I've got a lot of work to do on it. I think once I get things highlighted out and kind of figure out this piece needs to be 4 inches at this angle, and it should go together pretty well. I mean, the lines are pretty straightforward. I just hope it works out the way I have it in my head. And I think it will, just in the fact that I was able to get this to look like this. This is what I had in my head. So anyway, you know, like I said, if you're not interested in that, you know, when I mention it, it'll be at the end of the podcast, and you don't have to stick around for it. But I'm excited. Can you tell? Can you tell I'm excited about it? And that feels really good because I haven't felt excited about working on a quilt in a really, really long time. I haven't really worked on anything. The last time I showed something, which was that lion quilt that I was making, that was the last time I brought out any of my quilting stuff, and I just haven't been inspired to work on anything. I sort of lost my quilting mojo. Don't know if the quilting mojo's back, but I'm really excited about this quilt. So join me on the, what should we call it? The Volkswagen quilt. I have to just be really careful that my brother doesn't get wind of it. And if he does, maybe he'd enjoy the process. Who knows? So that's all I have for today's show. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me. Grace, get a hold of me so I can send you your yarn. The next time you see me, I will be fresh from Disneyland. So join me then, and I will be announcing the giveaway and celebration that I'm going to be having for my Potiversary. So until then, follow me on Instagram. I'm pretty active on that, and that will also tell you when I have new things in the shop. Thank you so much to everybody that did purchase something from me on this last update. It was very successful, and I'm very, very thankful. So until then, you know, like I always say, spread love and be kind to everybody, and